I'm at St Gregory's Church in Tredington once again, and this afternoon I'm going to be looking at the church clock, and I'm going to be looking at the wonderful set of 6 bells they have here in the bell chamber. So just walking through the church and past this lovely old stone font and up to the area at the base of the tower from where the bells are rung. Now making my way up the stone spiral staircase up to the clock chamber and to the bell chamber. And first thing of note are these wooden treads that have been put on top of the stone steps, and there's quite a bit of should we say damage over the years, or certainly the steps have been repaired for one reason or another. It's not entirely clear why. And one of the first things we come across is this wonderful old door which seems to separate the lower part of these stairs and is lockable and perhaps stops you going any further. A little bit of a security thing perhaps. And then just looking up the spiral stone staircase, one has to be very careful climbing these stairs, as the steps are very uneven and that can easily catch you out. As you can see, all these step treads have been repaired with a form of concrete. So, for one reason or another, they've worn badly or been damaged. And here we are now in the clock chamber. So you descend down a little set of stairs or steps and into the clock chamber. And so just to orientate ourselves, it can be quite easy to lose your bearings when climbing up the spiral stone steps. And looking out through this window, this looks out to the road that takes you down to the mill house, and this is the clock face side which faces up to the main road. And here is the clock, which is in its own box or case, and what a lovely sound, the slow ticking of this clock. And this clock, immediately the first thing of note is the plate on it inscribed J. Smith and Sons Midland Clockworks, Derby. So J. Smith and Sons were established in 1856, and apparently this is a very typical clock which was installed here in the church in 1908 on a flatbed frame, and it's an escapement mechanism, and I believe it's called a deadbeat escapement. A little bit more precise apparently than the previous anchor escapement. And here you can see these wonderful, I think they're control paddles, which seem to manage the mechanism. And these other large paddles here, I believe, are to do with the strike and help regulate that. So just looking at these wonderful brass cogwheels, another plate here with the inscription John Smith and Sons on this cogwheel, and two winders here. Most wonderful old-fashioned engineering, solidly built and lasting to this day. Originally this would have been a weight-driven clock, and in recent times it has been converted to an electric wind, if you like. And here is the pendulum, which helps regulate the clock. And here is the automatic winding power supply, which goes up via cabling. And up to this little motor at the top, which now drives the whole clock. Here you can see a linkage which goes across and ultimately links up, and I believe that is to strike the hour. And so, yes, a very interesting old clock. And I notice here the final rod drive coming out of the clock. As I say, it goes up in this rod form through the top of this clock case and through the ceiling here. And then let's go and see actually how it connects to the clock in the next level up. So climbing the ladders to the next level up, and the first thing of note here is this old housing which used to house the weights, which then were connected with cables all the way down to the bottom of that travel there. And nowadays I believe the system is automatically wound and just using that one weight. There seems to be a little universal drive here, which is a good idea just to take up any differential in vertical and horizontal. And so that is how the final drive of the clock reaches the outer clock face via a set of gears and cogwheels. So looking up at the clock face with this lovely blue colour and gilded hands and numbers, I would say that the minute hand probably looks to be about 2 feet or thereabouts, and the hour hand just over a foot. And now descending the stone staircase, trying to be fairly careful with these uneven steps. Back down to earth.